Welcome to the Red Dice Diaries, and in this video response I'm going to be talking about Fauntrodden's video, What Happened to All the Vlogging. And in his video, Cheppy makes a very good point, saying that there doesn't seem to be as much general conversational vlogging amongst members of the YouTube RPG Brigade as they're used to. Now, before I get into that, I think it's important to address the fact that I'm quite sure, although I haven't been a member of the YouTube RPG Brigade for as long as some people, I'm in no doubt that the RPG Brigade of yesterday is not the same as the RPG Brigade of today, and the RPG Brigade of today will similarly not be the same as the RPG Brigade of tomorrow. And that's inevitable, really, because things change, things move on, things evolve for better or change for the worst, as may be. But I think there's always a tendency when things do change for people to sort of harken back to a nostalgic earlier era or long for the comfort of the sort of previous era, the sort of the way things used to be. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but I think it's important to acknowledge that changes are part of life. It's always ongoing. Any community, whether it be the RPG Brigade or any other online community or personal community, is not going to stay the same over the years, as months pass, as weeks pass, whatever. But I do think that there certainly does seem to have been a little bit of a reduction in the more conversational vlogging over the last few months, and I'm sure before then. Now, for me personally, my subscribe to channels list on YouTube is still rammed to the gills with videos, far more, unfortunately, than I actually have time to watch. I wish I could watch them all. And I think that's going to be one of the problems with the lack of conversational vlogging, is I think that perhaps people are just trying to squeeze a bit more bang for their buck, a bit more, they're just trying to fit their videos in a little bit more precisely to make the most of the short time they have. I certainly know for myself that if I record a relatively short video, I then have to edit it, I then have to render it, I then have to upload it onto YouTube, and that's pretty much an entire evening gone. And that's for a relatively short video that requires not too much rendering, such as a review or something like that. When it's something more involved that requires more editing, or let's say a panel where a lot of preparation has to go into it, it can take far more than a single day, or certainly a lot of work spread out over the course of a number of days. Now, not to use this as an excuse, but I do think that as people's lives get more complicated, whether it be with work, with family, with home life, whatever it is, that people are going to try and focus their videos more onto a topic rather than making the slightly more rambly conversational videos like I'm doing at the moment. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think it's just a natural progression of people having less free time, probably wanting to spend more of their time actually gaming, running games, preparing for games, etc. Since we're all obviously very enthusiastic about role-play games, so it makes sense that, I mean, myself included, that if I have a choice between, do I prepare for the game I've got coming up or run the game that's due, or do I make a video about running a game or general game tips or whatever, then by preference, I'll go for preparing or running the game. That's not to say I don't value my videos, since I very much enjoy making them and putting them out there in YouTube land for hopefully you guys to watch and enjoy. But because we are so enthusiastic about role-play games, we obviously want to be as involved with the actual games as we can, as opposed to talking about the theory behind them, recalling the previous games, or having discussions about them. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. So I really do think it is just people trying to get more out of their time by focusing a video on a specific topic, and by preparing a little bit more thoroughly and avoiding rambling on a particular subject. You can get more down, more information, you can pack more into your video, and you may feel like you're getting the most out of your time, because it's a not inconsiderable amount of effort and time investment to actually create a video, render it, compile it, get it uploaded to YouTube, label it, distribute it, etc. And that's not to discourage anyone from making videos, since you don't have to have the most professional production qualities. You don't have to have the most professional sound quality. As long as your videos are interesting and you're enthusiastic about what you're talking about, I think that will shine through and people will be interested to hear what you have to say. Now, all this isn't to say that I entirely disagree with Cheppy, since I do think it's a shame that there's not more conversational vlogging out there. To be honest, I wish I had more time to do more rambly videos like this one that I'm in now. And I do try and do as many video responses as I can. In fact, I've even looked specifically for ways to speed up my video production so that I can create more video responses without it taking up an entire evening and tying all of my computer hardware up while videos are rendered or uploaded, etc. One of the best ways I found to do this is to create a Google Plus Hangout on Air, available to the public, like this one I'm in now. Just record your video response or your video so that when you actually finish the Hangout, it'll be automatically streamed to your YouTube account. You don't have to worry about rendering or uploading times onto YouTube. However, that does, of course, mean that any extra overlays you want, such as this web address here or the dice up in the corner there, have to be created as an overlay using the Google Plus Hangout toolbox. And that's not a terribly difficult thing to do. And there's numerous websites on the internet that can tell you how to do that. It also means that you can't edit down your videos, since they'll be streamed as you're recording them and finished off once you close the Hangout. And that does result, as I'm sure you've realized watching this, in a more slightly rambly video experience rather than the concise edited down videos that you might get otherwise, depending on how strenuously you edit your videos. So I would recommend, if anyone does want to produce more video responses, and I certainly recommend you do, since I agree they are a very useful tool, as Cheppy said, to create a sense of community and to get people talking to each other, to get people to know each other. I certainly know that I've talked and conversed with people, some of whom I now game with, when they've made comments on my videos, when they made video responses, etc. It's a very worthwhile thing doing, and I would urge anyone who is interested in making a video response or even just a conversational video talking about where you are in your games to fire up your Google Plus Hangouts on Air and just create a quick video. It doesn't have to be the most professional video in the world. No one is expecting you to be a feature film editor. As long as you've got some enthusiasm for what you want to do and what you're talking about, get it out there. The vast majority of people who want to respond and who will respond will be interested in what you're saying and will not be judging you too harshly if your video isn't the world's most professional. They'll be more interested in the actual content. So I hope if you've enjoyed this video and you found any of the slightly rambling things I'm talking about interesting, you'll click on like and subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red dice or visiting the website down there. I hope in the new year, as Cheppy has said, since I found his video very inspiring and it certainly made me want to jump into a Hangout and start recording an albeit slightly rambly video. In the new year, I hope to be making more sort of conversational vlogs like this, where I'm talking about things that are going on in my games, problems I'm having in role play, just general conversational stuff rather than the strictly focused topical stuff that I normally do. Don't get me wrong, I will still be doing reviews, interviews. I've got one coming up early January with the makers of Jadepunk, which I'm very much looking forward to. And there'll be all the normal stuff, RPG, bugbears, etc., that you expect from Red Dice Diaries. But in addition, I do hope whenever I get a few spare moments to just fire up Google Hangouts like I've done now and just record a few quick conversational videos that'll hopefully go some way towards getting some conversation going, getting people commenting, filming their own video responses, etc. Since I think that, as Cheppy rightly says, that this sense of community that the RPG Brigade has is something worth holding on to. And whilst I don't think the brigade will carry on in exactly the same way as it used to, since things are always changing, as I said at the start of the video, I do think some things are worth holding on to. So thank you very much for listening, and until I see you in the next video, take care.